This video is for you, and I just want to let you know that the story that you have previously selected was The Hare and the Tortoise. Yes, and in this particular script, of course, you know that I have really made a lot of adjustment and a lot of changes so that it make it more challenging for you, because I think the previous story that you selected, The Hare and the Tortoise, is a very basic story. So I have expanded this story and make it more challenging. So it is quite a good story, and I just want to run through with you. The reason I'm holding this laptop is because my printer have some problem. I couldn't get my printer to work yesterday, so I have actually used my laptop, and I will show you exactly what are the gestures required. In the class for the previous two weeks, I remember that you have already practiced this many times. Some of the feedback I have already given to you, and it is also written on your script. I just want to show it to your mom so that your mom knows what is required to be practiced. So at the very beginning of the presentation, the MC, which you yourself will also be going to be the MC, you will be introduced some other branch. So some other branch MC will be introduced using you. So you will probably be standing on the left side of the stage. Left side of the stage. If the audience is looking on the stage, you'll be on the right side. Okay. So over here, and the MC will say, "Let's put our hands together to welcome the next speaker for this evening, which is Dylan with his speech entitled The Hare and the Tortoise." The Hare and the Tortoise. Dylan! Everyone will clap hands, and then you start walking. After they say Dylan, you will start walking. You walk up on the stage, go into the middle of the stage. Remember, as I told you, if you want to present your story at this area, make sure you stand. The starting point when you stand is one step before, because you want to differentiate between the introduction and also the story. So example, if I want to present my speech here, which means that the story here, I would come in and stand one step before that. And after the applause, after everyone applauds, I want you to take a deep breath. Look around the audience, which is from right to left, and then go back, and then only start. While you are doing that, you can take a deep breathing, but do not breathe as if your shoulder, do not breathe like that, because it's very obvious. You just need to take a deep breath, then begin. The reason I want you to do that is after the applause, I want you to have these silent moments where all the audience attention are on you, then only you begin. Do not just come in and start your speech. Just come in, take a deep breath, wait for the audience applause to subside. Wait a second or two for the silence so that the concentration is on the speakers, then only you begin. At the meantime, you take a deep breath, deep breathing, which I have taught in the class many times, which is it's called diaphragmatic breathing, where you have your shoulder parallel. I mean, there's no movement on your shoulder, but just assuming that there's a balloon on your stomach, it's bloating up, like blowing a balloon, and then then you begin. So the first one is of course introduction. You say, "Hi everyone, my name is Dylan. I am 10 years old." When you want to do this gesture, I want you to do it forcefully, which means don't do 10 years old. I'm 10 years old. There's some energy on it. 10 years old. My father's name, start with the right side. My father's name, because the audience read from left to right, the speakers act from right to left. So you say, my father's name is what? He is a what? My mother's name is what? She is a what? They are sitting over there. Please say hi to them. These are the gestures. After you say hi, pause for a while, wait for people to respond. Then after that, only you start. The story I'm going to share today is The Hare and the Tortoise. Walk. While you are walking in front, you say the word up. The story I'm going to share today is The Hare and the Tortoise. Do not walk one step and only say the story I'm going to share. I want you to walk and say at the same time. The story I'm going to share today is The Hare and the Tortoise. The previous version that you have did, I know you do something like a jump. I think it's good, but I leave it up to you whether you want to maintain that or not. The reason for me I wouldn't do the jumping is because the speakers is having a lapel mic. So if you have a lot of jumping, a bit is okay, but I think if you have a lot of jumping, the lapel might be shaking, so it will be like tuk 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 tuk. There will be a sound on the lapel mic. So you'll be careful because you will be having a lapel mic, the headset mic. So after that, you introduction. Let's say for me, I would do the hare, and the tortoise. So the hare, when you are doing this gesture fast, maintain the gestures fast. At the same time, your rate of speech of the hare is fast. And when you do this at the slow, the tortoise, your rate of speech is also slower. So you synchronize your body language and also your voice with the character. So there are 3 races between the hare and the tortoise. The first race goes like this. I want you to do this. The first race is there, second race is in the middle, third race is on the left side, and then you walk back in the middle to deliver the message. Okay, the first race is like this. I want you to walk towards the right side while you are talking. The first race goes like this. The hare was one boasting about his speed before animal. I have never yet been beaten, said the hare. This one, I want you to increase your volume. The best way is, the first race goes like this. The hare has been boasting about his speed before them. I have never been beaten. You know the switch that I told you? Take your time to walk to the right side and then do a switch so that there is a clear differentiation. Okay? Switch. I have never been beaten, said the hare. I challenge anyone to race with me. I want you to increase your volume to show that you are authorized. And then after that, remember I told you there's these 2 characters. On this side, you see there is maybe about 20 to 30 degrees towards the speaker's left side. That's where you do the character of the hare. And then you switch and do the character of the tortoise. The tortoise said quietly, I accept your challenge. Remember, the tortoise, the hare, and then the tortoise. Okay, you notice how I switch my body. When you are the hare, the weight is on your right side, lesser on the left side, at the 20 to 30 degrees from the middle. That is the hare. I have never been beaten, said the hare. I challenge anyone here to race with me. The tortoise said quietly, I accept your challenge. You see, the rate of the speech is also slower for a tortoise. That is a joke, said the hare. I could dance around you all the way. At the start of the race, you see, this is the switch from a dialogue to a story. So you must make it interesting. At the start of the race, the hare darted almost out of sight, but soon stopped, and believing the tortoise could never catch him, he lay down by the wayside to have a nap. Actually, the last time I taught you like that, I think it's good to also kneel down so that you have a bit of gestures. It's okay to kneel down and do this, take a nap. Okay, you can kneel down. The tortoise, then you move back to the tortoise position. The tortoise never for a moment stopped. He went with a slow but steady pace straight to the end of the course. You see, when I was talking about the tortoise storyline, my rate of speech also slower. And when I walk slow, steady, one by one, I actually do the walking. It is okay to do the walking. Actually go and do the walking slowly but steady pace, straight to the end of the course. When the hare woke up, you see, I turn back to this position, which is the hare position, right? And I do this gesture. It's also a switch. When the hare woke up from his nap, he saw the tortoise just near the winning post. The hare ran as fast as he could, but it was too late. You see, I have this emphasis. The hare ran as fast as he could. The rate of speed is very fast, and then suddenly I slow down, but it was too late. He saw the tortoise has reached the goal. The moral of the story is, slow and steady win the race. You see, I step one step forward because this is a moral. You want to distinguish that, you stop. The moral of the story is pause, walk one step forward, and the slow and steady win the race. Look at the audience. This is the message for the audience. You look at the right and look at the left. Slow and steady win the race. Then you move on to the second race. The second race, the hare realized he was overconfident and took things too easily. They went for a rematch. You see, this is something like excitement, right? So you want to even rematch. It's like they went for a rematch. This time, the hare ran all his might and didn't stop. He crossed the finish line. You see, I actually walked across the finish. When I crossed the finish line, I actually walked across it to show the actual gesture. Walk across it, the finish line. The moral of the story is fast and consistent will always beat the slow and steady. You see, when I'm telling the moral story, I step one step. The moral of the story is fast and consistent. The rate of speech change will always beat the slow and steady. I even position it. Fast and consistent will always beat the slow and steady. Sorry for this distracting thing, but I just want to show you what it is. On the third race, show the number 3, hold it and walk to the third position. On the third race, the tortoise said to himself, when you're doing this, your face is actually looking to the audience because you want to show the audience, and you walk. Okay, make sure you don't use this hand to do 3, because it is not. It is more efficient to use the right hand rather than your left hand when you're walking here. But when you're walking on the first position, you use your left hand because it's closer to the audience, okay? We don't do this, right? The first position, correct? We do the first position, right? The first race. So over here, you do the third race. You use your right hand. In the third race, the tortoise said to himself, there's no way I could win if the hare didn't stop. On the third race, the tortoise think to himself, there's no way I could win if the hare, you see I position, tortoise, hare. There is no way I could win if the hare didn't stop. He thought hard and decided on a different course. This time, like the second race, okay, show the middle stage. Like the second race, the hare kept on running and didn't stop until the route led him to the riverbank. He was shocked. You see, I take one step forward, this is the riverbank, I step one step back. He was shocked and did not know what to do as the hare could not swim. Okay, do the gestures of swimming. As the hare was cracking his head for hours, thinking ways to cross the river, the tortoise slowly. Remember, I move, the tortoise slowly and dived into the river, swam across it, and finished the race before the hare. And you walk back in the middle. The moral of the story is, look at the audience. This is the last moral. Look at the audience. Okay, no, don't do the gestures. Just look at the audience. Know your strength and take your competitors in area of your core competency. Okay, know your strength and take on your competitors. Better you use the both hands. Know your strength and take on your competitors with your core competency. Okay, this is the eye contact with the audience. So as I say, the moral of the story is, the moral of the story is, know your strength and take on your competitors in your core competency. And then everyone will clap your hand. Then you come back. Then only you go back. Don't finish and then go away. Then take a breath. Then go away. Then step off from the stage. I hope this helped. I'm so sorry for the laptop. It's holding it, showing it. It's not so effective. because I couldn't get my printer to work, but I think I have shown you most of the required movement. If you practice as what it is right now, I think you should be alright. I have seen you practice also. It is okay, but it can be better if you just incorporate some of the additional things that I shared in this video. So I wish you all the best. I'll see you in the Sunday class. I'll practice again and again, and